So I just made an earlier video about what I like about Bulgarian society. The video turned out to be 45 minutes, which is too long. My videos shouldn't be that long, so I decided to start over. I like that Bulgarians keep their traditions alive. They have celebrations on many occasions during the year. For example, Bitni Veche, which is Christmas night. They cook several vegetarian dishes. And this tradition is kept no matter what. Like nearly everybody does it. I was invited for this once. We made all of these dishes, and then there was the bread, which was baked. It had a coin inside and some decorations on top. And basically it was all about keeping the tradition. And that's what unites a nation. One time I was in a restaurant. There was just a waitress and the cook. I was the only guest. It was Batni Večer as well, and I was traveling. But still, these two staff members baked their own bread and other vegetarian dishes, which it would be more convenient to just make a pizza, right? But still, they kept the tradition. That's what Bulgarians do. They know where they come from. They know where they stand in the world. Bulgarians are welcoming to foreigners. They are a nation of immigrants themselves. There's millions of Bulgarians abroad. Everybody knows someone who is abroad. Whether it's their uncle, their children, or even their own parents. So they will be understanding of your story and curious to hear why you chose Bulgaria as a place to live or a place to visit. They will applaud you if you do an effort at learning their language, which is quite a difficult one. People will give you great appreciation if you show them respect by learning their language, because it is often not expected. People are friendly towards each other in general, yet there are exceptions, as I discussed in my other video. But people are very friendly towards especially women and children. Children are number one in this country, as it should be. which makes Bulgaria a fantastic place for a family vacation, because everybody will drop everything out of their hands as soon as they see a nice kid. They have a huge tolerance for children, whether it's them running around in a restaurant, which at times even I find slightly annoying. Bulgarians will love every bit of that. I've been to Switzerland for vacation as a child. It's the extreme opposite. People get annoyed at noise, at children playing in the pool. Bulgaria, no such thing. Which is good, because it makes people feel welcome and as if they can relax on their vacation. People are very friendly towards women. Obviously there's equality here. Women are very represented in the workforce. Even in the big international companies, there's tons of them. Even as programmers, there's a lot. In IT, there's thousands of women. Which is obviously a very good thing. So there is a slight bit of chivalry as well. People still hold the door for each other and thank each other for that, which I think is fantastic, because it is just nice to hold the door for people. So it is a bit more old-fashioned in that regard, in a good way. Like, nobody will take offense if you buy them a coffee. It is just relaxed. Which brings me to my next point. Bulgarians in general are relaxed and laid back. A friendly bunch. They truly know how to relax, to let go, to enjoy themselves, to enjoy good food, good drinks and spirits, to enjoy partying. And they take the time for you. If you meet someone for a coffee, it's not just for 15 minutes. Because a coffee turns into 2 coffees, turns into 3, turns into lunch, and turns into beer. Bulgarians can work hard, but can also completely let go after that, which I find fantastic. Speaking of that, Bulgarians, especially in the big companies, grant you a work-life balance. And people stick to that. In the international environments, the larger companies, it is not frowned upon at all to leave the office earlier on a Friday afternoon. In fact, sometimes you're encouraged to do so, as long as you don't leave your colleagues in a hot mess. If you leave the office earlier to go skiing with your family, good for you, fantastic. Many companies you can just compensate for the hours, and people feel free to use such initiatives. Bulgarians have started traveling a lot more in the recent years because the country is open with the coming of low-cost airlines, especially. People can come here, but Bulgarians can travel outside more as well, which all of my colleagues do. They go see Milan, Madrid, and come back with new perspectives. Bring me to the next point. Bulgarians are open towards Europe. They are Europeans, and they want to be. They want to be a modern country. And they want people to come here to enjoy it as well. Bulgaria focuses on convenience a lot. On things just being available. There is stores open 24 hours. You can go to a bank on a Sunday in the mall until Sunday evening even. You can go to a breakfast restaurant very early in the morning and have some sort of dish at 4 o'clock at night. We have these things in Sofia and even in other cities. At any point of the day, you can buy coffee, cigarettes, and alcohol, no matter what time of day. There's 24-hour pharmacies in every town. There's taxis in every city that are quite affordable as well. These things just work. Speaking of convenience, Bulgaria has fantastic internet. Some of the best in Europe. Some of the fastest. Some of the most reliable. And some of the most affordable internet in Europe. The repairmen are at your door at the blink of an eye and will set up the connection for you. Then there is Wi-Fi everywhere. There's mobile network coverage nearly everywhere as well. Convenience is also reflected in the healthcare system. Now, there is a huge distinction between having a good insurance provided by your employer or having to rely on public healthcare as, for example, a pensioner. Now, I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I have healthcare insurance provided by my employer, meaning that once I had a metal wire behind my teeth broken, I just called up an orthodontist and I could come right away. No questions asked. Sit down, pay, and that's it. If I need an invoice, want to declare the cost, I just request the invoice and submit it to the insurance provider. That's it. No payment from my side required. If you call up the insurance and say you want to see a pulmonologist, a dermatologist, a urologist, no matter what, most often you'll be able to see a specialist the same day. Not the assistant, but the very specialist, which is remarkably convenient. I did an allergy test in Bulgaria. That means I went to the lab and got an allergy test. My mother wanted to do an allergy test in the Netherlands. She needed to go to her GP and would rely on the GP actually prescribing her to get the allergy test. And then she'd still need to pay for it herself. Granted, if I wanted the allergy test to be paid, I'd need to go to a specialist first as well, because you need the paper that recommends you to get a test. But you don't need it to get a test. You wanna spend a couple of tens of euros yourself, you have the test in a few days. Just go to the lab on a Saturday, results are with you on Tuesday. Remarkably convenient. The same goes for a lot of things. Bulgarians in general leave each other to be free to be who they are. Now, there are some remarks to be made there. Not going to go into too much detail, but people will not bother you. You are safe in any area of the country, even as a woman, even if you go hitchhiking, even in the suburbs of a big city. You are safe. You are safe here. People will not become involved into your personal matters, such as religion, which has never even come up in any conversation I've had here. People just chill out and live and let live. People will not stare at you unless it is out of curiosity. People will try to relate to you. Say that you're from the Netherlands. and undoubtedly they will say how much they love your country if they've been, or how they have a relative who's there, or how they just think you have great football players. Each and every Bulgarian will compliment you on your Bulgarian language skills, even if they fall quite shortly. Bulgarians know how to enjoy leisure time by going into nature. They foster a certain relationship with their mountains, with herbs such as things growing in nature, the many types of tea. They know about our mountain ranges, go on very long hikes in summer, or ski in winter. They know where the bears live. Perhaps they go hunt even. Not bears, but swine or whatever. In the villages they slaughter their own food now and then. Bulgarians live closer to nature, because also they are forced to. Especially in the village where resources are few. Bulgarians don't like to stress. They rather take things one step at a time. And in traffic you would see stress. But I guess it's just because people like their cars and love driving. Get people outside of their cars. They're the most laid back people you would come across. People will try to understand you and are not afraid to ask direct questions. But doesn't the Netherlands offer better prospects for you as a young professional? They would ask. They want to legitimately understand what makes me come here. Not only to get to know me, but also to get the foreign perspective on their country. They will not just do chit-chat to have you engaged. Once you're engaged in a conversation, they will try to scratch beyond the surface to see what's underneath and to see what moves you. And although many people might be timid to initiate a conversation, especially in the big city, once you actually catch on and have a talk, you will perhaps make a new friend. And you're directly 10 steps further ahead than in the US, where you would just discuss the weather. things can get personal quickly in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a place where people live, where people strive to make the best of their lives. And even though sometimes it's not easy, the people make the best of what they have. And they will gladly welcome you to their country, take you on a hike in the forest, show you what their country is like, and show you that it's not all as bad as we often hear on the news. Because Bulgaria is a country just like any other. Just like any other, civilization has its peculiarities. But it has its wonderful little quirks and benefits that make me stay here as well. And I hope that I managed to inform you of a few of these in this video. So I wish you all the best and come explore Bulgaria. Bye bye.